In this video, you'll get a brief explanation of how to find zeros of a function on a Texas Instruments TI-84 calculator. A TI-83 will be very similar, and you can follow along. Okay, if we want to find the zero of any function really, or polynomial function, such as f of x equals 2x squared plus 6x plus 1, we might try to factor it, or we could use the quadratic formula. The quadratic formula in this case would be our best bet for an exact solution. If I wanted an approximation, then I would put this function into my y1. I'm assuming that you can do that, but it's 2x. You can use the caret key, or you can use the little square key, 2x squared plus 6x plus 1. Once you have that into your calculator, you're going to hit the blue key on the upper left. It's really the second one down, the second function, and then the quit. Now we have our function into our calculator. We're going to go ahead and hit the second function key again, and then the key on the upper right next to the graph key says trace, and above trace it says calc. So we want to hit the second function key and then that key that says trace, and above it it says calc, and then scroll down or choose number 2, which says zeros. So once we do that, we get a picture. This picture on a standard viewing rectangle might look like this. And we want to find the zeros. So let's say I wanted to find this zero, the solution or the x-intercept. They all are interchangeable words. On the bottom of my screen, it's going to say left bound. And I'm going to put my cursor somewhere to the left and hit enter. Then it's going to ask me for a right bound. I will put the right bound in and hit enter. And then guess. And for guess, sometimes you could just hit enter or just move your cursor to the point that you think it is and hit enter. So when you do that, in this particular case, you should get x equals negative 2.822876 and y equals 0. So this is still an approximation, but it's a very good approximation, and we didn't have to do a whole lot of work. We used our calculator. Try the same thing for this 0 over here with your left bound and then your right bound. Pause your video and then I'll give the answer. So I got x equals negative 0.1771243 and y equals 0. So hopefully you got that. Sometimes you're going to get an error that says no sign change. That happens when you have a polynomial function and the 2 points that you've chosen, for example, a left bound and a right bound, are on the same side of the x-axis, so there's no sign change. In fact, you could get that here and here as well. Okay, and sometimes you're going to get a y value that's in scientific notation, something like x equals 3.279, y equals 1, e negative 13. This is for all intents and purposes a 0. It's a 1 with 13 zeros in front of it. Actually 12 zeros and then the 1. And this is the best your calculator can do in that particular situation as it runs its algorithm. Okay, thank you.